Hello there again, everybody. This is going to be Jund League number 95, where we just finished up Jund League number 94, literally 5 minutes ago. Not a super satisfactory result, but everything still felt pretty solid. And like I was mentioning, we went on a 23-2 run with a list that was only like 4 or 5 cards different from this. So I'm not going to let a couple bad leagues discount the potential that I think this deck has, or this particular list with the Bone Crusher. So we're just going to run it back and see if we can do better than last time. So let's look at the current Modern minigame. I know I already showed y'all if you were here at the beginning of the last league being streamed, but on YouTube you probably haven't seen it yet. So let's pull it up. So we've got Blitz and Breach in at first, followed by Amulet, Eldrazi, and Heliod. This has been a pretty solid top 5. The date is 5/30/21. So this top 5 has been fairly cemented over the past few weeks. I think these 5 are probably just the best decks that are out there right now. And then y'all can read. Here are the remaining 6 through 15 slots. So with that, let us jump right into the matches. And Wayward Times, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. Really do. When you said the follow, it reminds you to give me your free money. Well, I appreciate your free money. And Wayward Times also subscribing. Wow. Really appreciate it, you guys. Really, really appreciate it. And we got a match quickly. Wow. Things are looking up. Manatees. It's a funny name. Alright. Better than last league. Better than last league. Well, we're already winning on clock, so if that's any indication. Ooh. This is close. I think I'm leaning towards keep. We have 2 modes of interaction at 2 mana, and we've got a threat we can play if we decide we want to do that. We've got 2 lands, but 1 comes in tapped. We're also on the draw, which makes it a little bit more precarious. I'll lead on Ravine and then I guess figure out what we're doing afterwards. Spire Bluff pass, so maybe Prowess? They didn't have a 1 mana thing though. Another tap land, not great. Well, I guess I'll play tap land number 1. There are 2 tap lands in the entire deck if you don't count Blackleaf Cliffs. So my guess would be Prowess. It could still be blue-red Through the Breach. I guess it's not Prowess, more likely Through the Breach. Okay, that means that we get to cast Liliana on the next turn. I could cast Tarmogoyf here. Unfortunately, it's still within bolt range. So I'm not super excited about doing that. And I also may need to play around Blood Moon. But that means I can't get Liliana down on 3, so I think I'm just not going to play around it. Yeah, I really don't think I want to just play the Goyf into a Lightning Bolt. I'll hold up my removal spells, but I don't think the removal is going to be particularly useful here. And then I guess end step, I can use my mana to cycle a Forgotten Cave. That's at least something. You're putting them on Breach. Yeah, there's an outside chance that it's Storm, but them having done nothing else so far means I'm like 90% confident they're on Breach. So let's get a black source here. Blood Crypt. Say no. And then cycle a cave. Digging for discard spells, I think. Inquisition and Thoughtseize would be the best cases. Well, I guess those are the only discard spells. So I guess we're going to start working at their hand. We could just effectively die next turn if they make a treasure here with the Prismari command and then breach us. But I mean, I don't really have much to say about that, unfortunately. I should have used the Mire here, because then I could play around Blood Moon getting basic Forest. So hopefully that doesn't come to bite me. The default in my head is just never wanting to fetch basic Forest because you can't escape a Kroxa off of it. But in this case, I should have used the Mire. Is the removal of one Kroxa and the addition of Terminate a nod to blue red? If so, is that why 2 Terminate versus 1 Decay? Yeah, I think Terminate is just better right now. Eldrazi, Tron, and Prowess are both very popular at the moment, and Abrupt Decay doesn't do as much as Terminate does in those matchups. So I could just try to slam the Liliana again, but the opponent could very easily just be holding up another counterspell. Again, if they have the Emrakul, there's not much that I have to say about it. So I think I'm going to play like they don't have it, and then playing like they don't have it would mean that I'm casting Bloodbraid here. I could continue to try to play around Blood Moon by getting basic Swamp. Maybe I just should. I've got double red. I guess getting Green Source means that I could activate Ravine, but I think it's pretty free to just get the Swamp, because if I'm activating Ravine, I need to draw another land anyway. So let's get the Swamp and cast a Bloodbraid here. And then we would love for this to hit a discard spell. Yeah, no problem, DC. We hit Thoughtseize. Cool. They could just counter this and still kill us, but I mean, at least this is giving us a fighting chance. Counter draw. So Cryptic replaced itself, but at least that's one less Cryptic we have to deal with, assuming we don't just die. Please no kill. Uh-oh. Looks like a kill. Dead. I think I expect to lose game 1 versus them, but it does still sting. So let's bring in Brutality as it's like effectively another Duress. Is Ashiok any good versus them? I don't think so. I guess if they're playing the sideboard plan of cheat a Platinum Imperium into play, I may want the Pillage. I don't think I'm wildfiring. We saw a lot of non-mountain red sources, so I think they're not playing the Transmogrify list, because again, they would need mountains to enable the Dwarven Mine. They're pretty likely to be on Snapcaster, so I think Spellbomb's a pretty decent hedge. I mean, also for reasons of Snapcaster, maybe Ashiok is just good enough. Yeah, it does nothing but turn off Snapcaster. Yeah, I don't think if we're turning off only Snapcaster, I don't think Ashiok's good enough for just that. I do want to cut pushes, I think. I think there's a good argument to keeping the Terminates in case they do try to put Platinum Imperium into play. That's a good way to kill it. We need 2 cuts as is. I could definitely see cutting a Bolt. I'm worried about Planeswalkers though, and Bolts can at least go up there. Also, if I need to steal a race, they could go face. Not cutting Goyf or Bob or Brutality. Not cutting Kroxa. Maybe I just cut a Terminate. We still have plenty of answers to the Empyrean. We'll have Terminate. We'll have 2 Kolaghan Scans. We have 4 Lilianas. That's 7 answers. Yeah, Terminate seems really bad otherwise, so I think cutting 1's probably good. We need 1 more cut. It seems like our threats are already going to be kind of hard for them to kill, so I think taking out 1 more threat that dies to a Bolt is probably fine. Like, Stomp is still nice for going face, but I think face is just about the only place it's going. Platinum Empyrean seems sus against the Liliana deck. I mean, 1-card combos are 1-card combos, right? Like, you still force us to have an answer. Yep, this hand's not exciting, but it's fine. We've got early pressure, which is something we were lacking last time. We've also got a way to maybe disrupt the combo, and then we've got things that are great to cast into counter spells, so this hand's not ridiculously exciting, but it is fine. And to play around Blood Moon, maybe I want to get some combination of Swamp and Forest, but again, Forest doesn't escape Kroxa. So I might just not fetch here. I can get some information on what I'm drawing. Ooh, okay. So now I do want to get basic Forest, right? Because then next turn I could get basic Swamp, and then I'm fairly insulated versus Blood Moon. So I think I'm going to get Forest with one and Blood Crypt with the other. Let's do Blood Crypt first. And then we're going to hope for no Force of Negation or Spell Snare. Alright, no Force or Spell Snare, please. If they don't have it, this is going to be really good. And if they do, it's unfortunate. They don't. Cool. Gonna plus this immediately, get it out of bolt range. On assumption that Breach is going to remain a top 10 deck, do you see yourself running the MH2 Edict with split second in the board, or is that just too narrow for a slot in Jund? I think that if something else has the Edict being good against it, that's even remotely viable. Like, if there's more than one deck where I would want to bring it in against, then yeah, I think it's probably fine. I've played Liliana's whatchamacallit in the past, the one that doesn't target an opponent. Like, if you control a Liliana, they discard a card. And it has been fine. I think I'm goifing here. They could bolt it, but we've got so many goifs that I think it's fine. New Rakdos card spoiled? I'll have to check it out. Got some mosquito bites on my arm. Right now they've got Remand. Okay. Next turn we're gonna get to Goif, which should be nice. And I remember I am still wanting to steer clear of Blood Moon, but the opponent didn't have a lot of fetches, so maybe they just aren't playing the Moon. Like, this you can't fetch for, so it's like you can get islands to get out from under your own Blood Moon. That said, I'm still gonna play around it since Renin 6 is making it pretty much free. Kolaghan's Command. So should I play around the nuts, which would be Prismari Command into Through the Breach into Emrakul? See, if I play around the nuts, I'm not doing much in way of advancing my own plan. So I think I like just going double Goif here. I could Brutality, which would be the way that I play around the nuts, and I can still play a Goif. And I actually might like that, because we don't have a sorcery in the yard yet, and Brutality could be that sorcery, which would help make sure that our Goifs don't just get bolted. So yeah, let's lead on Brutality. I don't think I'm escalating it at all. Maybe it's worth it to drain them for 2, because those 2 points of damage might be what I need to cross the finish line. With Renin 6 in play, we're hitting all of our land drops for free anyway. Yeah, maybe I escalate it once. It just seems free. If they answer the Renin 6, it's no longer free. I mean, I could also just ditch Kroxa. Alright, so we'll play a land. Brutality. We'll 2-mode it. You. And then I guess I'm fetch shocking Overgrown Tomb. I'll ditch the land. I'm going to assume that they're not dealing with the Renin 6. And if they counter this, it'll be unfortunate, but they were almost always going to be able to counter it. Sure. And now we have a window to stick some pressure. If the opponent is running a list similar to Aspiring Spike, they don't run more than 2 islands and avoid Moon in favor of Boil. Could be wrong, but that's what their lister is reminding me of. Well, luckily Boyle isn't good versus us. We're one off of a Ren and 6 ultimate. It's not really worth a whole lot right now, but we actually would get a bunch of brutalities, assuming we find land, so that much is nice. There's already another land in the yard, so I guess we can just lead on attack. I guess we don't want to lead on attack if the plan is to cast Bloodbraid here. Again, though, we kind of can't compete with Through the Breach Emrakul. So I might just have to play like they don't have it and just hope they don't have it. I mean, we could hit a way to interact with the Bloodbraid, which would be the ideal case. We have 7 cards in the deck that would do that. Liliana. Well, assuming no combo, Liliana is one of the better cards we could have hit. So we're going to hope they don't have it. This is going to make it easier for them to have it. They bottoms, okay. At least a little promising. There's a window right now where they could bolt Liliana, but they didn't take it. Let's ditch, I guess, Kroxa. That thing's going to be in the yard one point or another anyway. Alright, please don't have the combo. I'm assuming if they don't have combo already, these 3 mana will be spent on some amount of digging. Alright, that's what I got. Snapcaster Opt. Okay. I guess they don't have it yet. Well, I mean, they could still do this if they had it. I guess so. This is going to keep our Ren and 6 off of Ultimate, more than likely. They bottomed with that Opt as well. They didn't have it. Okay. That's good. We're alive. So Ren and 6 gets tagged. Not the end of the world. They did have the land. Alright, so they're missing at least one half of the combo. What's our mana looking like right now? We have 1 red. Let's get some more. Brutality. That was a good one. So now if the half of the combo that they're missing is an Emrakul, we can maybe snipe Through the Breach before they find the Emrakul. I do really want this to resolve though, so I may need to play in a way that I kind of bait them. If I return a land and fetch, and I Brutality escalated, I can escape the Kroxa, but that has me not casting anything before the Brutality, which means if they have a counter, they're just going to snap it off. I guess lead here. I guess I'm discarding... Well, let's do some math. We've got 7 power in play, so we're putting them to 6 here. Am I able to add any types in any way? We've got, I guess if we discard instant, well they've already got instant, so we're not actually adding any types. I mean, we've got 6 points of just burn here. So if this works and this works, Kolaghan's Command goes to face. Alternatively, pinging them and pinging them next turn means that any one of these is lethal. So I guess that means we're ditching a Goyf. Maybe they grow our Goyf somehow. They ditched a land. Alright, so we're still just at 7 power. Alright, let's go to attack. And if their answer is Cryptic, I for sure want to do this in second main because I don't want them counter-tapping to buy time. Maybe I can Kolaghan's Command as a means of baiting it. Like, I really need this Brutality to resolve. Like, if I try to buy back Kolaghan's Command, you discard. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to run. So I could shock them, but I mean, we've got so much onboard damage already that I don't think I need to. Also, if I shock them, I think they're more likely to try to counter the next burn spell. So I think not shocking them makes them more inclined to try to counter this. I guess the other real concern is this doesn't get mana leaked, whereas if we wait, it does get mana leaked. I guess I'm jamming to play around specifically mana leak. They didn't have it. They have neither. They do have the Through the Breach though. So this is going to work out exactly like we were hoping. And they had the mana leak. Wow. All right. So played it well there. I could just play the Goyf, but it gets leaked. I think I'm just going to hold up an instant here. And then what am I doing with the Renin 6? I guess I'm just pinging this out of the way. I could ping the opponent's face, go to 5. But I mean, pinging this also means they're not attacking my walkers if they find removal for this. So I think pinging here is fine. And then at the opponent's end step, I'll attempt a Kolaghan's Command. So as long as this like Valakut Awakening doesn't just find the combo by itself, they're gonna see 4 new cards. We need to hope that they don't find both Emrakul and Through the Breach in those 4 cards. They get 3 from this, and 1 from the draw step. Having them discard a card now doesn't do anything because they would still just keep the combo pieces if they've found them. So please don't have it. Hey, they didn't have it. Game 3. Jeez. Alright, so I don't think we saw another reason to bring in Ashiok. Fire or Lime? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. See you later, Chaos. I don't think I am bringing in any of these other things. It's possible something is better than Terminate, but I still think having it as a hedge against Platinum Empyrean is nice. I mean, we still do have 4 Liliana, 2 Kolaghan's Commands. I mean, Terminate is definitely better than Push. It's definitely better than Damping Sphere. It's definitely better than Cleansing Wildfire. It does something similar to Pillage. Pillage at least might kill something, though. But I mean, 2 mana versus 3 mana is pretty different. And the speed at which you can cast it is also different. Maybe Bone Crusher is just better, just like as an additional threat that can also do some damage to the face. I'll feel silly if they do have that Transmogrify / Madcap Experiment plan, but we still have outs to it even if they've got it. What do I think about Ignoble Hierarch? I think it will be a good card. I don't think it will be a good card in Jund as it currently exists. As Jund currently exists, I think the deck list will have to be pretty significantly changed around in order to exploit in order to be able to best exploit the extra mana. Don't think I can keep this, unfortunately. We need ways to interact. Well, we have 2 ways to interact, but we only got 1 land. I think I have to keep and just like pray we find the land. I'll bottom the Bolt. All right, we're gonna hope to find a land sooner rather than later. Not exactly. Let's get Overgrown Tomb. That means if we draw Blackleaf Cliffs, we've maximized how good the Blackleaf Cliffs can be. So they've got Emrakul, which is half of the combo. Snapcaster, Snapcaster, Archmage's Charm. These Snapcasters aren't even really looking that good without anything to combo with. Archmage's Charm is going to be the thing I think that stops me the most from executing my game plan, assuming 1 comes together. So let's take that. And then knock the top for a land. Knock the top for a land. If we can find a land here, we can deploy Goyf, which will be great. Alright. We've got 69 people watching. First of all, nice. Second of all, that means there better be 136 fingers being crossed. Yes! Alright, so this will get Blood Crypt. Say yes. And then hope that they haven't found a Remander, a Mana Leak in the one card we don't know about. They didn't. Okay, okay. Cooking with gas. Also, I definitely did that math wrong, right? There should be 138, not 136. Another Goyf. Okay, well, let's lead on attack. I guess if they found a counter spell... If they've found a counter spell that hard counters, like a Mana Leak, I'm going to want to cast second Goyf first. So that way it grows the initial Goyf. So let's lead there. Saying if you're playing this combo deck, you're going to kind of hope it doesn't lose to Boomer Jund. Yeah, I mean, combo is traditionally one of the matchups that Jund really likes to see. Because Jund really gets to exploit the discard spells kind of better than most other decks. I think the deck that does it better is probably Shadow. Because like Shadow can leverage quick threats a lot better than Jund can. Okay. We found the land. I'm for sure thought seizing here though, right? There's one card we don't know about. If it's a counter spell, it'll be unfortunate. Alright, they drew the combo. Alright, so let's dismiss. I guess I'm taking the Breach and hoping they don't find another one. So the argument to taking the Emrakul is I believe they if they're playing fewer of one or the other, they're probably playing fewer Emrakul. And putting the Breach in the yard also means that eventually they're just gonna have the line of Snapcaster Breach when they hit 7 mana. I mean, Emrakul just gets shuffled right back in, so I guess it's actually kind of no matter what I take, there's gonna be like a similar number of copies. But actually, taking Emrakul means that Archmage's Charm gets shuffled back in. Yeah, Goyfs will shrink by 1 because the instant will be gone. We'll only be attacking for 2. But like the opponent's gonna have Snapcaster Archmage's Charm if I don't take the Emrakul, and I think that's also quite bad for me. Let's take Emrakul. So Goyfs will get 1 smaller. We'll attack for 6. But I like the opponent not having access to Snapcaster Charm. And like we know that they're gonna have access to that because we know about the Snapcasters and the Charm. So I like denying that as well. It's like Snap Charm to draw 2 might be the little bit of digging they need to get over the finish line. Alright, so they apparently have not drawn Emrakul this turn. Drew Spellbomb. Alright, so we can Liliana here. Again, if they're going to counter it, I think I want to do it first. So that way there's another thing in the yard for the Goyfs. But if they've drawn Cryptic Command, they could counter tap. But if they counter tap, they're also not drawing a card. I think I like slamming it first. Okay, so now what are we discarding? I guess it's just Kroxa. We could discard Artifact. The opponent's pretty likely to discard a Snapcaster here, which means we're going to get Creature in the yard anyway. So if they discard Snapcaster and we discard Spellbomb, Goyfs go up to 4 apiece, which means we're hitting for 8, which means they're going to 5, which means any one Goyf connecting plus Kolaghan's Command is a kill. Yeah, I think I'm hoping they ditch a Snapcaster here, and I'm going to ditch Artifact. It shortens the clock by a lot. They discarded a land, though. Okay, well, we're still attacking for 6. Their hand is Snapcaster, Snapcaster, through the Breach. Attacking both means they could flash in 2 Snapcasters and kill the Liliana. But I need to clock them. They could flash in 2 Snapcasters and double block, but that doesn't seem good for them. Alright, so we are hoping they don't draw Emrakul. Snapcaster for empty value, yep. Snapcaster for empty value, yep. No Emrakul, please. No Emrakul, please. They didn't find it yet. And if they kill Liliana here, they're just dead. Because that'll add Planeswalker, which means we've got a lethal attack. Okay, I mean, we still get to Edict them, which will both add a creature and a Planeswalker. Kolaghan's Command. So if I Edict them, they go down to 2. Just off of an attack. And then I can Kolaghan's Command them. If they've got something like a Cryptic, I can then respond with Kolaghan's Command to make them discard the Breach, and then I can't die to combo. So they have to sacrifice this one. Then they also have to block. This is 5 now. If I go for this first, they could counterbalance, so I think the line is just attack here. So you're either plus NK command to empty your hand so they don't clown you. I'm not sure what you mean by that. They have to block. They go to 2, and then we can, whatever they do, we can respond and kill them. Pass. Do I think Karth the Lion will see a 1 of Engend? I don't know what that card does. So, hey, we did it! I guess I could just look it up real fast. Karth the Lion. Not Son of Karth. Karth the Lion. 2 black-green for a 3/5. Whenever Karth the Lion enters the battlefield or a Planeswalker you control dies, look at the top 7. You may reveal a Planeswalker card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Then it has Planeswalker loyalties abilities. You activate cost an additional +1 to activate. I don't think it'll be good. It's 4 mana for a 3/5 that doesn't do anything when it enters. I guess if you count it letting your Planeswalkers increase in loyalty a little bit faster as an ability when it enters, and I guess okay. I mean, it does replace itself probably when it enters. It could be interesting, but my inclination would be that there are better 4-drops if you're wanting to spend 4 mana on something. But I don't think it's an easy no. I think it's probably just a normal no. So your line works also. Just thought Lily +1 and K command to make them go Hellbent gave you less likely to be breached out. Didn't take into account growing Glyph, so your line was better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we know they had 2 cards in hand at the time, so and we know that one of them was the combo piece, and we're dead to the combo almost no matter what. So they're just gonna always discard the card that isn't the combo piece, which means that we're still dead to combo. But the holding up the Kolaghan's Command route means that if they try to combo us, we literally just respond. Dark Confidant today's economy. Dark Confidant I think is very, very good right now. Obviously you want to avoid Lava Dart, but against the if you can avoid the Lava Dart decks, which is less than 10% of the format, Bob is one of the better cards that you can be playing. I'm usually typically against the argument that you should not play Bob just because Lava Dart exists, because not everyone plays Lava Dart. Like, every card is going to have its bad matchups, and this is just Bob's. Alright, let's go first. Yeah. The opponent's playing a creature deck will have a better time than if they're not. Turn 1 Esper Sentinel into turn 2 Thalia seems like a beating for a lot of modern decks. Yeah, I think Esper Sentinel's real cool, right? That's the one where when your opponents cast like their first non-creature spell every turn, they have to pay X, where X is its power, or you draw a card. Am I getting that right? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, the card seems cool. Is there any argument to not holding the fetch in case I find a push? I don't think so, because I've got 2 ways to kill stuff anyway. Blood Crypt. Maybe it's a mirror. Where they did not reveal Luris. Alright, this looks like a tomb here. I guess tomb is kind of awkward in that we can no longer terminate, but the two non-overgrown tomb shocks we can't get because they're in our hand. That's good. I guess that gives us a reason to shock. We can play basic Swamp for Liliana next turn. Hopefully they're not playing Dredge and they just didn't have a 1-mana payoff. They discarded a land. Okay. Maybe it is a mirror. If this is a mirror, our hand's looking good. So if I ditch the Terminate, I can guarantee having Liliana into Bloodbraid. I guess that's not even true though, because I do want to plus this Liliana, which means that I'm going to be discarding something of my own anyway. So I guess that means I'm definitely not ditching both of these lands. So I'm ditching, I guess, land and Terminate. So if I'm ditching land and Terminate, I'm going to keep Terminate first, so I can get information on what I draw. We did find the land. So I guess this means that I will be just discarding Terminate. It's looking like a mirror. I guess it could still be Rakdos mid-range. I know in the Mana Traders event, someone did pretty well with the mid-range list. We could use Terminate to kill the opposing Kroxa, which may be in our near future. But I really like being able to guarantee Bloodbraid next turn. Also, if the opponent casts an Inquisition of Kozilek, which isn't super unlikely if they find one, this gives them no targets. Hopefully they're not playing Dredge was a bold statement to make before that Kroxa trigger is all. They discarded Dreadbore. So them ditching Dreadbore makes me think that they're the Rakdos deck more likely than they're playing Jund. Jeez, these bug bites are killing me. Whoa, we got 77 viewers. I think that's my record for most views without a raid. They had another Dreadbore. Boo. And Juan Matt, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. So we're looking pretty good here. Ooh, and we drew Thoughtseize. So I could just escape the Kroxa now. Although I think I'm still leaning towards Bloodbraid. Reason being is they play Thoughtseize, so the cards in our hand are less safe than the ones in the graveyard. Also, them discarding a card fuels their Kroxa and may enable them to escape theirs next turn, and that I would like to avoid. So I think I'm leaning towards just casting the Bloodbraid here for those reasons. And then what am I getting? Not Basic Forest, because I can't escape Kroxa off of Basic Forest. And we need another red source. Can't get Basic Mountain. Oh, wow, we actually can't get another red source anyway. That's crazy. Because our Blood Crypt is in the yard. So I guess that means we're getting Swamp? Yeah, I think we're still on Swamp over Forest. Could shock a tomb, but I think Swamp's probably safer. Green, red. There. Alright, what you got? Threat would be great. Oh, Bolt not great. Okie dokie. Not having red source is pretty big. And if they have a fetch of their own, they're escaping their Kroxa. Uh-oh. Alright, while they do this, I gotta go get some anti-itch cream because my arm is burning. We drew a Bob. Not great. We still can't escape Kroxa. I thought we were ahead this game, but not being able to get our Kroxa into play right now is going to be pretty terrible. Yeah, we're taking 9 here. Yeesh. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, I guess I've got a block now. We need a way to kill this. That doesn't get a red source. Alright, we're dead. Alright. I think we're supposed to lose game 1. Their seasoned Pyromancers are pretty great versus us. So let's bring in the Engineer, bring in the Spell Bomb, bring in the Fatal Push, bring in the Ashiok. I think that's it. Let's take out all the discard. Discard is abysmal. We need 2 more cuts as is. Yeah, 3 Verdants in a row. Pretty much. So we need 2 cuts. 2 cuts, 2 cuts. Liliana is on the poor side versus seasoned Pyromancer tokens. But it's still pretty great versus Kroxa. And on the play, if they just play 2-drop and we Liliana it, we feel pretty ahead. I think I am trimming a Bolt. Just because it doesn't kill a lot. And I think I am trimming... It's not Renin 6, it's not Terminate, it's not Kroxa. It could be a Goyf. We've got plenty of threats, and Goyf is not really... Goyf does one job well, and that's beat face. But this matchup feels like it's going to be very card advantage oriented, and Goyf does not contribute to that plan. Let's do this. Down a game, but not on hope. I would love to go first. Thank you for asking. I would love to keep this hand. Is Blood Moon something that we should be worried about? Probably, but we've got to get green source with this anyway. So I guess we'll go Stomping Ground into Blood Crypt, Renin 6, intend on getting basic Swamp into Ashiok on turn 3. So that's the plan. Please no Inquisition or Thoughtseize. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So, Stomping Ground. I guess we could get Overgrown Tomb. Overgrown Tomb is probably better given that we've got lots of red already. So we'll tomb it up. We could also now just like cast, use a basic mountain and save the life. Bloodbraid's a really excellent draw. So far so good. And then we will use the Mire next turn to get basic Swamp. And then try to Ashiok. I could deploy threats. But I like getting the Planeswalkers going while the board's empty and they're not under any pressure. If they play a 2-mana creature, I'll say if they play a 2-mana creature, then maybe I was just gonna Goyf plus push. Because like the Planeswalkers aren't great when they can get attacked. Another Goyf is good. So getting basic Swamp means that we cannot double Goyf next turn, but we're pretty likely to just cast Bloodbraid next turn anyway, and I would really like not just dying the Blood Moon. I at least want to be able to cast my black spells. So let's do that. And do I want to activate the Ashiok here? I don't think so. I get like at least one free activation off of Ashiok because the second activation puts it to 3 and then it dies to Bolt. So while there's nothing super relevant, I don't think I'm going to use it. Please no Moon. Liliana. Okay. Well, I get to Bloodbraid and attack it. So I only have one removal spell, that's Fatal Push. So maybe I want to keep that. I mean, I've got 2 good threats in Goyf plus Bloodbraid, so I think ditching third threat probably fine. And then I'll get to Bloodbraid Elf here, attack Liliana, make sure it can't Edict. So it's going alright. There's a lot they could have that would swing it, but this is a good one. Alright, that's good, because now we get to just straight sweep the Liliana. And there's still nothing super valuable that I want to get rid of from the opponent's yard. But if they can shoot down the Ashiok, any number of cards in the opponent's yard is a liability for Kroxa reasons. I guess I've got Spell Bomb, so not really a big concern. Let's just pass. So Liliana kind of 2 for 2'd there. Pyromancer is annoying. We do want to defend this Ashiok a little bit. Discarded Channeler and Swamp. Okay. Renin 6. So that can get back a Mire. If we want to fetch shock a green source, we could also play a Goyf and have push available. Is that a spew? Don't think so. Kind of like it. Just get another Planeswalker going. Hey, look, a distraction. So I have to fetch shock now to get the Goyf down. So I'm losing Revolt. I've got triple black already. 2 red. I guess we'll get Stomping Ground. Say yes. Play a Goyf. And then I can attack if I push the Pyromancer. I think I'm interested in trying to close this game. Cast, target this. And then now that there's a Pyromancer in the yard, there's a good argument to use the Ashiok at least once. But if they've got a removal spell to get the Goyf out of the way, they can then put my Ashiok to 3. But at that point, maybe Ashiok has just done enough. Should I mill myself? Milling myself means if I find my Kroxa, it's just another great threat. I don't think milling them has a whole lot of value. We also have like Kolaghan's commands in the deck. So milling myself actually seems like it's got some value. And it also increases the odds that Goyf stays large. Okay. So far, so good. We're very ahead on board. But the opponent's got more cards in hand that we don't know about. There's the moon. Alright, well, luckily we're ahead on board going into the moon. So hopefully our existing pressure can get us there. So if I ping the Elemental, we are then in Bolt range. The Renin 6 is then in Bolt range, but not being able to buy back fetch lands or peatlands means that there's not a whole lot of value in the Renin 6 anymore anyway. And I think I want to Spellbomb first. It'll add Artifact to grow the Goyf, and I can get some more information on what I want to do with the Renin 6. Like if I draw a Bone Crusher here, I might just stomp it and then go face. Who knows? So we'll do this, add Artifact, pay the black. If I find a Bone Crusher, I might actually just cast it as a 4/3. Alright, well unfortunately that doesn't do anything. Get this out of the way. We're at 5/6 now. We can hit for 8 and then 8. I guess a Bolt could break this up. We've each got 1 swamp. Brutal. I mean, a ping to the face means that we can still cross the finish line a turn earlier with 2 more connections from a Goyf, but a push is going to make that difficult. I don't really want to mill myself now, because even if I find the Kroxa, I can no longer escape it. Explosives for 2. Yikes. That can get rid of the Renin 6 as well. Uh-oh. We're behind. That doesn't do anything. Alright, stalemate. But I mean, their stuff is actually castable, so their stuff's got to be better. We still have a few real good draws. Like Bone Crusher would be great. I guess we can't Blood Braid because we don't have green. So I guess Forest is a good draw. Bone Crusher is a good draw. What else? Kolaghan's Command's a good draw. Bob's a good draw. So yeah, we're looking for Bob, Kolaghan's Command, Bone Crusher. Those are the best three. I think Bone Crusher at this particular spot, Bone Crusher is looking best. We could stomp the Seasoned Pyromancer and then exile it all and then still defend the Ashiok. No cigar. Alright, well, I guess I have to mill them. The Ashiok's dead to an attack anyway. At least this way we get to deal with 2 Kroxas. They playing Chandra as well, jeez. Would still love a Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher. Damn. This moon is getting us. Yeah, that's true nostalgia. I don't think I want to push an elemental, but it does take a turn off the clock. There's the Bob. Do I block? Don't think I block. I guess you could just kill it out of the way and make my decision easy. Alright, now I kind of have to block and just get lucky and draw the Bone Crusher. Yeah, this seems like a difficult one. They have Bone Crusher. Alright, you win. Bone Crusher is pretty good. Alright, we're 1-1. Next. Here's the list for all who got here recently. You can also find this list by typing !deck or !decklist in the chat. That'll get you to the Stream Decker, where you can also see all the lists that I've played in the past. Let's go first. We don't have anything to recur with the Renin 6, but this looks good regardless. We got lots of things we can do for cheap. If this is a creature-based deck, we're going to have a good time. If we're playing against, like, Tron, I'm going to cry. Mark Chalice, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. Lots of follows and even a couple subs today. It's really amazing. I appreciate it. Would it be too much to ask to draw a Dark Confidant? Wouldn't be unhappy to play against Prowess with this hand. And Slug Lit, thank you for the follow as well. Really, really good stuff. The opponent really doesn't know about their 7, huh? They're in a minute and a half in the tank already. You love Jund? Good to hear. You'll see lots of it here. And if you haven't already found out about my YouTube channel, all my various links are here, as well as there should be my YouTube channel should be linked to my my Twitch if you're on desktop and you scroll down. All of my leagues, including this one, are being recorded and uploaded there. And this is league number 95. So if you ever find to spare like 5 days straight worth of content hours to consume, it's already uploaded. If you ever feel like not sleeping for a week, you might get through it all. Vantage. Is it burn? It's burn. Alright, well, this hand's gonna be fine if they draw their creatures. Ren and 6 is not great, but I guess I'll start going up. So if they find creatures as burn spells, we can deal with those. But I don't think we're very well equipped to beat burn with this hand. And they're not companioning Lurrus, which is strange. Alright, we can kill that. We found the land. I really don't want to shock it though. So I guess we'll use Fatal Push. Just keep plussing the Ren and 6, play our Blood Crypt tapped. I guess I should probably just pass, right? Because maybe they do some damage to themselves. Alright, so let's plus. Then Blood Crypt tapped. Yeah. So the thing I'll have to be aware of here is if I go for the Fatal Push using the Blackleaf Cliffs and the Boros Charm to make indestructible, I can no longer bolt. So I may want to Fatal Push. I may want to bolt the Eidolon to maintain the option, but we may need bolts to go to face. It's kind of close. I think more than likely I'm going to need to kill a creature by another creature other than this Eidolon by the end of the game anyway. So I think using a bolt on the Eidolon is probably just fine. And then if they Borostrom to protect, I can respond with push. So you're saying, or they might be taking a screenshot of the natural Tron plus quadruple payoff in your stream window and posting it on the Modern Magic. The Reddit, yeah. I mean, yeah, that'd be funny. So yeah, the intention again, we're gonna bolt the Eidolon, and then kind of hoping they use the Boros Charm in that way, because then we're not taking we're saving effectively 3 life. We're paying 1 to do it, but Boros Charm doesn't smack us. All right, so let's see where they attack. Not that it matters. This thing's getting shot almost no matter what. I guess like if they're attacking the Ren and 6, I can maybe let it happen because then they're incentivized to cast more stuff. But they're just going at me. So let's bolt this thing. Take my 2. They're doing it? Wow, this is working out. Got that next level, the line there. 5-head play, yeah. I mean, we're still taking a licking from the actual Eidolon, but we've saved 2 from the Boros Charm now. I guess only 1, really, because we had to pay the life. That doesn't cast the Blood Braid, damn it. Things like I really don't want to pay the life to use this peatland anyway. The issue is, like, this is our only green source. So, like, even if we draw a fetch, like, I'm gonna have to pay life at least once. I could sacrifice the peatland, like, literally just to redraw, but can I still Bloodbraid next turn? I still can, right? Because I can sacrifice this, play Blackleaf Cliffs, buy this back. The next turn I can still just play peatland. The issue there, though, is if they draw a creature with haste, I'm no longer hitting it, and I may need to save those life points. So I guess I could sacrifice peatland, play Blackleaf Cliffs, and just have access to an extra card. Yeah, let's do it. Playing the Blackleaf Cliffs first because now it comes in untapped. We can buy this back with the Ren and 6. We found Liliana. That's an okay one. So we'll play the Blackleaf Cliffs. buy this back. And then we're at a virtual 7 because unless we draw basic forest, we are paying life again. So we need to avoid 3 burn spells or 1 burn spell and a Boros Charm. Okay. Well, if you've got it, you've got it, you know. Alright, well, I guess you've got it. I'm not going to bolt myself for style points, but that 5-head play was pretty nice. Saved a couple life. Alright, burn. Let's bring in brutalities. Let's bring in push. And then we determined that something was better, that Spellum was better than something, right? Like, for sure taking out the Bobs, for sure taking out the Thoughtseizes. And that was it. If we play life, you get Liliana discard on 1, bolt win easy. Yeah. So I think this is the split. I think Wildfire and Pillage probably a little too cute. Submit. This is our second time playing Burn on the day. I'm never really sure, like, if I'm actually supposed to take out the Thoughtseizes. Like, losing 2 life is bad, but, like, when you take a burn spell that does 3, you're still net gaining 1, and you also get some information. That said, barring that specific reason, Thoughtseizes are pretty terrible top decks when you're needing to draw something action-related. Yeah, the sand's workable. We've got Inquisition on 1, Goyf on 2. If we find a land, we've got Liliana as well. We're missing a Brutality, but short of a Brutality, this is kind of the nuts. I think I'm getting basic Swamp as opposed to Blood Crypt. I am missing red, but Forest doesn't cast Terminate anyway, so regardless, I need to find another land. So I think I'm going to be content just getting basic Swamp. So let's do that. They didn't mulligan? How lucky. So, basic Swamp, Inquisition. They've got 1 land, Guide, Spike, Spike, Bolt, Bolt, Bolt. It's a lot of bolts. So, I think I'm just going to take a Lightning Bolt. Because Goyf is gonna Stonewall the Guide on turn 1. Or, the Guide was going to get in for 2, but then when I play Goyf on my turn 2, it's going to Stonewall it unless they want to commit also a burn spell to it. So let's take the bolt. I'm not like ecstatic if they use a bolt and a guide to kill the Goyf. They just suspended Rift Bolt. Okay, well then this is working out great. Don't know why they did it that way. Alright, and that means we can eventually get Liliana down. So, we actually have an interesting line now. We could Mire with the intention of casting Fatal Push this turn, and then next turn we can Liliana. But I think I really like getting the Goyf down. But the opponent's play may indicate they intend on just shocking Goyf twice. But if they do that, I kind of feel like that's a mini win. So, I think we're still Goyfing here. And I would really like to get a red source with this, given we've got a red card in hand. We also need a black source for Liliana. So it'll be interesting to see what we draw. We still have answer to a first creature. So, I mean, it's pretty reasonable that we just get basic Swamp and discard the Terminate. They missed the land. And there's the red source anyway. So I think what we're doing here is get basic Swamp plus discard Terminate. It's looking alright, especially given that they missed the land and they can't just spew at us. Yeah, I was thinking they were going to Rift and Bolt the Goyf. That's what I thought was going to happen after they suspended instead of playing Guide on 1. So I'm not sure what they were thinking. I mean, there are a couple cards we don't know about, so it's reasonable to assume that there's something I'm not thinking about. Maybe they just discard the Guide. Yeah, they just discard the guide. I mean, that's a creature. Glyph's pretty thick now. We could still die. Liliana's going to do a nice job at pressuring their hand while they're mana light, which is nice. Spike me. Yep. So we know about Spike, and there are 3 unknowns. Could you Bloodbraid? Blitzberg, thanks for the follow. So I could shock... I could shock to play Bloodbraid now. That has me going to 7. The thing is, though, I would then die to a Boros Charm and another burn spell. It might almost be worth it, though, because we're also taking a turn off of the clock from the opponent. So I go to 7. They can spike me down to 4. So if they have a Boros Charm in hand and they're just waiting for a land, are they gonna have time to cast it? We would attack for 7 here, putting them down to 9, and then next turn they can't even fetch shock or shock for it. They would need to both draw the land and already have it. And if I don't do it here, like if I just hold up push instead, I kind of can't plus the Liliana. I think I'm shocking. Discard push, shock, and then play Bloodbraid. It seems kind of crazy, but I think it's worth it. We don't die to 2 spells because 7 puts us to 1. But I mean, casting this thing with haste feels like it's gonna be pretty good. I guess if we were thinking that we were gonna hit exactly Collector Brutality, we could have held the card in hand. We hit Kolaghan's Command. Alright, so I guess even more, you'll discard and shock you. So now they are just dead in 2 turns worth of attacks. So we hit for 7, and the next turn we're hitting for 7. If they play a creature to block, we just edict it out of the way. So I think the thing that makes our situation hairy is a Lightning Helix, making the math weird. And they conceded. Sweet. Yeah, that was a weird line, but I think it was correct. Slug asks, any new Modern Horizons 2 spoilers looking my fancy for Jund? Everyone talking about the Jund Hierarch, but the card doesn't seem to fit you. Yeah, I am inclined to agree. I don't think Hierarch slots into Jund, at least how it exists now. The card I'm most excited for is that Sideboard Dragon that it hits a land and is cheaper based off of colorless lands. Green Tron and Eldrazi Tron are both are usually a pretty big portion of the format at any given time. And they're both they're both disfavorable matchups. So I'm liking the prospects on the dragon. It warms your heart seeing burn brick on one land. Me too. It doesn't warm their heart though. Get it? 'Cause burn. Having 1 mana of the color we need without paying life may help. Oh yeah, I know the monkey, Ragavan, right? People are saying Ragavan might Junds. I'm not convinced. I mean, it could be good. Speaking of could be good, how about this hand? So we've got Inquisition on 1. We've got another way to interact with the Bolt. We've also got a Goyf. This is close. I think if the mana were less painful, it would be a pretty easy keep. I could plan on fetch shocking Verdant Catacombs into a Blood Crypt. If they play a 1-mana creature, we could bolt it. If they play a 1-mana creature, we kind of can't Inquisition because then that 1-mana creature converts into 4+ damage. This hand is really close. If one of these lands was a painless red, I'm snap keeping it. It's risky. I'm gonna keep. They kept the 7, which makes me pretty nervous. They had the guide too. Yikes. Alright, give us a Blackleaf Cliffs off the top. Blackleaf off the top. Swamp? Okay. And we drew mountain, or what is effectively a mountain. Okay. So if I don't Inquisition here, the opponent might have a Eidolon, but we've got Bone Crusher to stomp it. Even if we bolt now, so I'm thinking I need to just make this guide not hit me for anything. Like Inquisition is gonna hit something almost no matter what as soon as I cast it sooner rather than later. So I think the plan here is get basic mountain and bolt. As is, I'm discarding the hand size. I think that's fine. I think I'm just going to prioritize not drawing more lands, which means I'm going to discard Overgrown Tomb, and then this can get basic forest to cast Goyf at some point. So yeah, I'll discard Overgrown Tomb, and then I'll bolt the guide after it attacks. They have 2 lands this time, and another creature. Uh-oh. Alright, and I'm going to fetch first, because then the only way I draw another land is there being 2 lands stacked on top. So let's get basic mountain. And then, can I get a Collective Brutality? Wrenn and 6. That's not what we want to say. There's argument to killing Swiftspear here, because any burn spell would then save the Swiftspear from a stomp. But I think they were likely to cast it now anyway. So now we've got another interesting decision. Goyf is a 3/4 as is. That's not even that big. No matter what, I think I'm going to try to avoid the Swiftspear from hitting me again. I'm weakest to removal spells if I cast the Goyf here. So I think I am leaning towards wanting to just cast the Stomp. So let's do that. And again, I'll do it now so prowess triggers don't mess me up. Yeah, fetching first does avoid the basic mountain. They main phase the Boros Charm. Interesting. So here, I think I'm going to Inquisition, deploy Tarmogoyf. I don't know what main phase Boros Charm could mean. They didn't play a land, so their hand's probably just all gas, which I don't think I can beat, unfortunately. And it is Rest in Peace. So I think I unfortunately have to take one of the spells that go to face. So between Skullcrack and Lightning Helix. Lightning Helix doesn't kill any of my creatures. But if I draw a Collective Brutality, Skullcrack can mess that up. I mean, if they're helixing a creature, I feel pretty happy about that. So I think I need to hedge towards hoping I'm able to gain life and just take the Skullcrack. And then I'm still going to cast my Tarmogoyf, I think. Alternatively, I could just cast Wrenn and 6, because then next turn I can go to 6 to cast Bloodbraid. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I mean, I don't actually have to pay life to get another clock going, because I do just have access to the Bone Crusher. The thing is, if I play Goyf and they Rest in Peace, Wrenn and 6 no longer buys back a land. So it's a tough spot. Either way, like, the way we're winning this is the opponent just has, like, a stack of lands on top. I'm leaning towards Goyf. Reason being is this kind of forces them to Rest in Peace. Whereas if I play Wrenn and 6 and they draw a creature, that creature can then connect and be worth damage. Whereas this way they can't, a creature isn't worth damage. Yeah, I don't want to go to 6. But I will if I absolutely have to. They're just going to Helix me? Alright, I'm at 4. Overgrown Tomb. So I need to get pressure going. So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to attack for 4, play Bonecrusher Giant, play Overgrown Tomb tapped, and then next turn plan on Bloodbraid Elf. I think that's just about the only good line I've got access to. I will not pay the life. No, thank you. I mean, Tomb was a fine draw, assuming I'm trying to cast this Bloodbraid Elf. Alright. Don't have it, please? They've used 1 Boros Trauma already. That would be the instant kill. Okay. You got me. Next. Here is the list for those joining recently. So we're 0-2 versus Burn on the day. Our only real ace, as currently configured, is Collective Brutality. I mean, we're playing 3 of those. Yeah, like if the opponent doesn't have the Boros Charm there, let's say they just cast Rest in Peace. We're attacking for a 7, including the Bloodbraid, and they were at 16, so that puts them to 9. So if Bloodbraid hits literally any non-Tarmogoyf threat, we've got them dead within a turn. You think Burn's better than Prowess? Matchup dependent, but I think they're both like positioned just fine right now. I don't know which one is better. Prowess is definitely more prevalent at the moment. Oh yeah, I missed the comment from Slug about Helix killing Bonecrusher. If they were targeting Bonecrusher with a Helix, I think I'm pretty happy about that. Especially knowing that we've got access to Bloodbraid as an additional threat. If we don't have an additional threat, I think it's a little bit closer of a decision. But if they're pointing burn spells at creatures while I'm still able to apply pressure, I'm pretty happy. Yep, we can keep this. So Verdant on 1, we'll have the option of bolting if we need to. Flooded Strands, okay. I don't think I'm in the player on Blood Moon mentality right now. Fatal Push is nice. I'll save the fetch to maybe pair with it. We get to cast a Kroxa here. It's blue-white? Or I guess it could be Esper. Bonecrusher is a nice find. So I could just go for the slam on the Liliana here. I think I am. I could just also play a Bonecrusher as a 4-3, but the upside of this Liliana resolving is pretty high. Let's do it. I'm assuming they're a Path to Exile deck, so I'm going to avoid getting basics whenever possible. Because they'll probably just give them to me over the course of the game, right? Alright, so we've got 2 black sources already. Them playing basic planes means that maybe waiting a turn is fine, because we're not getting opened up to anything extra like Archmage's Charm, but I guess Logic Knot is something extra that we could get opened up to. And then versus Esper or Blue-White, it's more likely Esper than just Blue-White. I think I'm ditching Push. I think Bolt has more uses. It can go face, it can also go up Planeswalkers. Selfless Spirit. Wow. All right. Well, I guess I kept. I guess I wish I had kept the push. I mean, we still have Stomp and Bolt. Rattle Chains, sure. Unless they have a Lord, it's looking like we're still going to be able to get an Edict off. Turns out the opponent was just going to cast all of the instant spells on sorcery speed after you detailed analysis of whether to take the Helix or Skullcrack. Toaster says, "Oh shit, this is your deck. You were going to say Spirits, Valak? Well, you would. That was a good guess. All right, and they don't have a Lord. That's pretty good. Oh, they went face? Oh, because they have Skyclave. That makes sense. That does in fact make sense. All right, well, I guess I get a 3/3 after I bolt the Skyclave. Ooh, that was good too. I guess I'm just gonna ping the Rattle Chains then. I have to do this now, right? Because I don't want them flashing something in and protecting. So that was just a very good draw. So we can ping this. We'll worry about hitting our land drop next turn. I don't know that they play any flash shenanigans. Maybe they're doing like something with Ephemerate. I really don't know. So I'm just gonna avoid one-offs and do this now when it's gonna happen anyway. Yeah, this was the Giga Nut draw for sure. So here we're playing around Spell Queller, right? But I mean, the best thing to cast into a counterspell is something that is effectively 2 spells. Let's get... We drew a Swamp, but I still think I want to just get a Swamp. I don't want to get Forest because it doesn't escape Kroxa literally ever. Alright, there's that, there's that. Boom. Which I got Bloodbraid. Gonna get a Goyf or something. Thoughtseize is serviceable. This puts us to 9, so we will have to be careful. If they flash some stuff in, maybe they can start pressuring us, but we're also pressuring them. Queller. Can't be countered. They took the Thoughtseize. That's interesting. Alright, well, if they have a Lord, they can kill the Wrenn and 6, but I mean, it is what it is. If they kill the Wrenn and 6, we'll be able to escape Kroxa for some extra pressure. Alright, they do have the Lord. And I think that must have been a new draw, right? Because they played Rattle Chains on 2 and then didn't get Liliana out of Edict range. I guess not even necessarily true, right? Because they just had the Skyclave anyway. So Verdant means that we can escape Kroxa. I can combine Stomp and Wrenn and 6 to kill the image, the Phantasmal Supreme Phantom, though. Is that worth considering? So I guess they could have another Rattle Chains, right? That would be pretty terrible. So that would be the actual worst case. So if they Rattle Chains me, it's going to be an attack for 6/7, which means I'm not dead. If I fetch here to play a Kroxa and they have Rattle Chains, I do just die. So the question becomes, do I have a significant enough board state to warrant just going the Stomp route? I think I do. Because if this works, I also get to put a 4/3 into play. And I'm going to Stomp first, right? Because if they do protect it, I can at least not go down on Wrenn and 6. I could also just attack first and see what they do. Because if they flash in a Rattle Chains, I guess I can kill a Rattle Chains, but that doesn't even do a lot. Alright, so let's Stomp here. And then if this resolves, I'll go for the ping. And I have to do this first, because if they Rattle Chains now, Bone Crusher gets countered. But at least I'll be able to ping the new Rattle Chains with the Wrenn and 6. You think pre-combat Stomp is the worst of the lines? I would be inclined to disagree. Because like if I just attack and they block and they've got Rattle Chains, like they still have an Air Force I can't compete with, right? So now I still just attack. I'm not just dead though, which is the important thing. And then next turn I can try to escape Kroxa. They took the hit. Okay. Hello. Alright, so I think we're just going face now. Go. And then we hope for no Lord. If they don't have a Lord, I think we get there. They also can't discard a, they can't discard a land or nothing, because then Kroxa just kills them. And then they can't attack all, or else any one of our things is lethal. Just face and face. Yep. I mean, any one thing is still lethal, but their things do have flash via rattle chains, right? The ideal scenario is we just draw a burn spell. That is not a burn spell. I guess I go for the escape, but if I go for the escape, I'm dead in the air. There's not much I can do about that, unfortunately. These lands were pretty terrible. I can ping them, put them to 2. That doesn't change anything. If I attack and they block, I can ping it dead, but then I'm still dead in the air. You're saying escape first, swing out, run in 6 ping? But like things like escaping first, I don't think matters. Like escaping first is actively worse if because then they have another blocker. Like attacking first means that whatever they're doing, they have to do it now, and then maybe Kroxa can escape for the victory. Yeah, I mean at this point we are just forcing the opponent to have it. I think we just have to attack, is the thing. Because like actually, if we attack both and they block, we can then ping it and Thoughtseize them, and then Kroxa can get in, right? So do we actually just have the W? Yeah, we attack first. Because if their card is Spell Queller, we don't want them both countering the Kroxa. And yeah, we had it. Yeah, they saw the line. Because we get to Thoughtseize them. If they flash something into block, they go down to 1 card. We get to ping this. Thoughtseize will resolve. We know their hand will be empty, and then we escape Kroxa and win. Oh, this. Alright, so we're playing against Spirits. Bring in the push, bring in the engineer. That's kind of the only slam dunk that I want to bring in. Brutality could be interesting. It takes path from their hand. It doesn't kill a lot. I guess it can kill X1s with only 1 Lord, and it can kill X2s without a Lord. They said no, they had Spectral and Vile. It would flash Spectral to champ, realized too late. Yeah. So yeah, their flasher was a Lord, so it was a mistake. Alright, well it worked out for us. So what am I taking out? I think I'm taking out the discard spells. At least the Thoughtseizes. I mean that's a 3 for 3. So now the question becomes, Now the question becomes brutality. Do I want a brutality? I don't think so. I think the rest of the deck is just on average going to be better. You love some Bone Crusher Giant? Well, this is where you'll find it. This hand does not interact early. I think I've got to ship this. Like, pretty much any 1 mana play into 2 mana play is going to run me over. This is not much better, but I don't think I want to go lower. I'll keep the fetch for Kroxa escaping purposes, and also, yeah, because like Forest doesn't escape Kroxa. So I'll plan on Mire on 1 to get Stomping Ground, then I can Blackleaf into Bob. They mulligan to 4? Or to 5, wow. Alright, well, I'm feeling better versus a mulligan to 5. Another land is not what I'm wanting to see. Kroxa just from the hand is going to be better when they're already so short on resources. Mr. Zarakai, thank you for the follow. I appreciate the support. Let's yield to this. You're at Ponza Fiend. Giant is your bestie. You said you need to digest more Jund content anyways for Postmodern Horizons 2 release. Yeah, I mean, Jund is just a pile of good cards. And if you play him right, you'll win about half the time. Which is the goal, right? Alright, so Liliana's good. The opponent is real short on resources, so there's definitely some merit to just casting the Kroxa. Playing Bob is weaker if the opponent has a Skyclave apparition, though. So maybe I just want to use the Kroxa. Next turn is almost definitely going to be Liliana of the Veil. So the question becomes, what optimizes the game to having Liliana be the best possible? And I think that's play Dark Confidant. Or no, right? Because I want their hand to get really empty so that this Liliana can really shred them. And I think that combined with wanting to play around Skyclave means I'm going to Kroxa here. I mean, obviously, like, the earlier you get Bob going, the better. But I think with the opponent, fortunately for us, on only 5 cards to start the game, just shredding their hand as quickly as possible might be good. And they had the paths. Alright, so this ends up working out no matter which way you look at it. You're saying Bob is after Lily, then we top Thog? I don't know what you mean by Thog. But yeah, I agree that Bob is probably better after the Lily. So they could flash in a 2-mana creature here, which would be annoying. But, I mean, Liliana's still just going to get to shred their hand. So I still think I'm going to play the Liliana. Will plus discarding Basic Forest. They can't Spell Queller me here either. Plus. Oh, Thoughtseize. So yeah, ditch Forest. Yeah, I mean, there's so few on cards, and they have the Skyclave too, so all of the reads have been correct so far. They do have the Spirit, so I mean, if they have a 2/1 like that, they get to kill the Liliana, but I mean, they're on empty after this. If they draw decently well off of the top, they're still in it. But if they stumble for either a turn or two, I think the Goyf and Bob combination might be too much. So yep, Liliana traded for a Skyclave and some damage. Oh, wow, that's a good one for them. So I guess they can only make one thing right now. Fetch land. Fetch land does not mean we're escaping Kroxa any earlier. I guess I could fetch for a basic swamp and then maybe I don't have to lose an extra life. So that much is probably worth it. So we'll get basic swamp here. We've already got Kroxa mana. So we'll cast Tarmogoyf, cast Bob, take probably 5 in the air. So if they're going to draw a land, that's a good one to find. If they somehow remove one of our creatures, through damage, we can escape Kroxa. I mean, they've got some good finds. Like, if they find a Skyclave here, they're actually just ahead, right? Take 5. Alright, Bob, can I get some removal, please? Kolaghan's Command? We revealed Bone Crusher and have a Plague Engineer. Well, I feel like Plague Engineer is probably pretty good on this board. What do y'all think? Please no Spell Queller? Please no Spell Queller? I think they would have slammed it by now if they had it. I mean, if they've got the Spell Queller, we lose, pretty much. Hey, we won. Cool. Whew. Yeah, we did it. So we're 2-2. Jund Trophy dream still alive. Spunky redeems drink some water. I got you. The salt emote. Yeah, Plague Engineer, pretty good versus the Tribal X1 deck. Turns out. Every modern Tribal player is mad about the printing of Plague Engineer. Yeah. Plague Engineer is really strong. Like, when it's bad, it's pretty unplayable. But then when it's good, it's the best card in the deck, and it's not particularly close. Okie dokie. So we're 3 for 4 on matches where Plague Engineer was good this league, right? Or am I thinking of last league? I think I'm thinking of this league. I don't remember. When you're 10 matches in on the day, they start blurring together. Well, if we had a fetch land this end, it would be great. If this were a black land, I would almost consider keeping this, because there would be 2 things we can do. But with only 1, I think it's unnecessarily high risk. We'll keep this. So, I think I am bottoming Kroxa, because then we can just keep the curve of push Goyf Liliana. We're pretty far from escaping that Kroxa anyway. All your casual friends played elves. We're playing against Burn again. Alright, well this hand's about as good as it gets versus Burn. We even got a land off the top. Sick. Kolaghan's Command. Okay. So I think next turn I'm going to be fetching Basic Forest to cast Tarmogoyf, so I'm almost definitely pushing here. Well, I'm definitely pushing here. Maybe we'll get a redemption match. They kept the 7, which will make it difficult. I'm gonna wait for this to attack to push it, unless they Eidolon first. Another guy, jeez. Well, hopefully Goyf Stonewalls the second guide. This is happening no matter what. Let's just do it. F6 value. We've got another Liliana on top. Not ideal. You need to run 4 Plague Engineer in your Dark Ritual hippie deck. All your casual friends play elves. But you must be real popular with them then, huh? Alright. Basic Forest. Goyf can hopefully stay in front of this Goblin Guide here. Goyf is for sure the best threat versus Burn. We're at 3-4, so they can't even bolt it out of the way. I guess they could bolt it twice out of the way. But then we've got Kolaghan's Command to maybe get it back. I'm gonna guess they're just going face though, right? They're just probably not gonna attack with this guide again. Yeah. Another Goyf. Okay. So the benefit to playing Liliana here is that we can start working at their hand, maybe eat some burn spells. But playing Goyf means that we get to attack with our Goyf. And I think I like attacking more than just Liliana eat a random card. They've also like not missed a land drop yet, so they could just pretty easily have more lands. So I like attack, play Goyf, play Verdant, end of turn get Blood Crypt, turn on Kolaghan's Command. It's going to be a close one, I think. I mean, we need pressure to win this game, or else they're just going to have infinite time to just draw more burn spells. Alright, that puts us to 8, yeah. So, Bolt, okay. So, we can fetch once, but then be within range of Boros Charm, but be out of range of everything else. Guide, sure. So the question becomes, do I... Oh, wow, there's attacking. I guess if they've got another bolt, this makes sense. Lightning bolt on top. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if they've got another 3 damage spell at this point, it does just work. For sure, blocking. Go to 3. Got any burn spell ever? We can hope they still have a land. Boo. I mean, we could have played around another Goblin Guide by not attacking, but if we're not attacking, then we're just giving the opponent more time to draw burn anyway. Alright, so again, these 4 are the easy includes, and then Spellbomb's better than Thoughtseize. They're not companioning Lurrus, though, so maybe not. There's just not anything else. Like, I'm not bringing in Plague Engineer because it's a 2/2. That doesn't seem well advised. This is the 3rd burn matchup of the day, but this is the 2nd of this league. Yeah, this is our 10th match of the day. Would love to go first. We were also on the draw that game. If we were on the play, I think we had a much better shot. So this does not have a brutality, but mulliganing does make brutality worse. So if they draw the creature half of the deck, this hand is very good. Let's keep it. And then I will lead on, I guess, Bloodstained Mire, so I can push on turn 1 if I want to. And they mulliganed, hooray! Makes it a little easier. So Mire on 1. Push if I have to. And if I don't have to, I'll get, I guess, Overgrown Tomb, because then I can get Basic Mountain. Hey, I don't have to. Alright, so... Is Overgrown Tomb the correct choice? I don't want to get Basic Forest, especially because I have the Kroxa again. So I guess I could get Overgrown Tomb and then again just have the Mountain. The issue with that is if I want a double red spell, it becomes harder. I think that's probably okay. We're going to need to find more red at some point anyway. Red and 6. I guess I just do that. It's not. It's one of the cards I'm not hoping to see, but I mean maybe we can start comboing it with the Peatlands if we are provided time. As like the games that Ren and Six is trying to play are not the games that the opponent is trying to play. You get back the Mire because that one gets a swamp. So no early pressure is really hurting. Now would be a good time to hit back-to-back brutalities and then escalate them all the way with Ren and Six. Yeah, they've got Skullcrack available to them now, but it would still be good as just as a duress basically. All right, so we are having no issue finding more pressure. I think what I'm going to do now is buy back Wooded Foothills, probably just cast a Kroxa. I guess I could cast Bone Crusher just as a way to get some pressure going. That seems good. I won't have any removal up, but I can handle one haste creature by just blocking. This plays poorly into Searing Blaze, which would be the other consideration. But I honestly don't know that they would even have Searing Blaze in their deck. I'm going to cast a Bone Crusher Giant. Do I want to start going downstairs with the Ren and Six? I don't think yet. I think I'm going to... Now that we have Mountain already... I was gonna say that Verdant means that Verdant would be the best fetch land because we already have the Mountain, but both of these get Mountain, so it doesn't matter. Let's get, I guess, this Mire back and pass. No Searing Blaze, please. Searing Blaze would be the worst possible. Killing my pressure and going upstairs. Oh, crap. Well, at least they took two. And I'm unfortunately going to have to pay a life to get this Bloodbraid Elf going. Skewer the hard way? I guess. Blackleaf Cliffs is not good. Alright, I guess we're going to start pinging the opponent here. And I'm going to ping them first in case I hit another copy of Ren and Six. This will get basic Swamp. Alright, can I get a Brutality, please? There's 3 of them. Liliana. That'll pressure the hand at least. They've got a Sunbaked Canyon, though, which might help them refill. We've only got one red source in play, so even if we escape Kroxa, even if we discard Kroxa, we can't escape it. So I think I'm just going to keep it in hand because maybe we want to cast it from hand. They discarded a Path. Okay, well, I could not attack to play around a haste creature, but I need to close this game by actually attacking, right? Gonna be close. We're live to 2 burn spells as long as one of them is in Boros Charm. That said, we're dead on the spot if one of them is Boros Charm. Forgotten Cave. I guess I'm just gonna lead on Liliana Plus. I guess I'll ditch the Peatland now. What do you ditch? A land. Okay. So I think now I am casting Kroxa from hand, and then I think I'm just going to play this Forgotten Cave, because that would help us escape Kroxa next turn. gonna be close. This is looking like the classic fade one draw step type game. Unless they just have 2 burn spells here. They discarded a skewer. Okay. So I think I'm pinging them. Do as much damage as possible. I guess I can attack first to provide them with the least amount of info. So as long as they don't have a burn spell and a Boros Charm, I think we're good. Deflecting Palm? I do have Revolt from the Kroxa. So I'm going to let this resolve so they name the Bloodbraid, not the Wrenn and 6. And then I'm going to push my own. So that way I don't take damage. And now I can play this, and then next turn Kroxa should clean up. Ellie Silva, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. And I like that emote. It's a nice one. You played versus us earlier? What were you on? So they found the Swift Spear. They're attacking us. So we're at 6 now. I mean, we could still just die, because they can sacrifice Canyon. And if they find 2 1-mana things, we die. I guess in the event they find Path to Exile, we can edict this the Swift Spear. Alright, so I think we're good. We should just be good. Like, even if they find something like a Deflecting Palm here, we will have the Inquisition to clear the way. So I didn't use Wrenn and 6. Okay, I caught it in time. And, like, pinging here might actually be important, because if they keep a spell in hand to discard to it, they die to a hit for 6 and a ping. So we need to avoid 2 1-mana burn spells off of the top. That's the fail rate. Okay, well, unless they're both bolts and they're slow rolling us, we should be fine. Each player discards a card. Alright, and then Inquisition can make sure it's not another copy of Deflecting Palm. Helix. That doesn't matter, because we still get to bolt them. That would have been good. Well, we still have to ping them with the Wrenn and 6 too. Hui. Alright. Game 3. I can't say that there's much that I want to change. Yeah, I can't say there's a lot that I would want to change. I think I'm just going to resubmit. Yeah, they were still a dog without the bolt because we have the Wrenn and 6. Which is why I was glad I didn't accidentally forget to activate it last turn. Saying they should have helixed Rand to stay alive. Yeah. That would have been the best line from their perspective, but luckily we had the bolt. Okie dokie. So they're keeping a 7. I don't think we can keep this. We have Inquisition on 1 and push to kill the first thing, but Crocus just isn't sticky enough a threat. I think this has to be a ship. Okay. Let's keep. And so Bloodbraid is our only actual source of pressure. We have to play Blackleaves on 1 to bolt. We can then next on the following turn play the Mountain to painlessly use Brutality. It just doesn't look like we're going to be getting to the Bloodbraid. I think I want to keep the Ren and 6 because I can escalate and then buy back the lands to continue chugging along. Yeah, finally a Brutality, right? They didn't have a 1-drop. That's big. They could still just have, I guess, Eidolon. So I think I'm actually wanting to play my Stomping Ground tapped, right? Because if they play Eidolon, we could just kill it with the Brutality anyway. And this could be the only good window where I'm able to get in a green source painlessly. So let's do that. They did have the Eidolon. Okay, so we get to just brutality it as planned. Oh, I punted. I needed to play a basic Mountain there, because then I can escalate discarding Blackleaf Cliffs, and then next turn I can Red and 6, get back Blackleaf Cliffs, and use it and be able to push. I can still discard Mountain and have Bolt available, but this is worse because Bolt goes to face and push doesn't. So we'll 3-mode it. You. Alright, so we'll ditch the Mountain, and we'll ditch, I guess, Terminate. Take 2, gain 2. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was... Oh, you're saying Mountain doesn't let me Brutality. That's true. So yeah, so my play was good. I was just being stupid. Their hand's bad. Okie dokie. I mean, we're missing pressure. So if we don't find pressure quickly, then we could be in trouble. And their next play being another Eidolon is a little awkward as well. Because we take extra damage from the Eidolon if we take 4 if we go buy back land and bolt. So I think I'm just gonna push normally. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna push normally, and I do want to play the Spell Bomb here, so I think I'll do it now. Take my 2. Like I could wait until they maybe cast stuff into their own Eidolon. But I think spending the mana on Spell Bomb now is better than not. We need to find a Tarmogoyf or really any pressure. I guess Bone Crusher would be good. Bone Crusher as a 4/3 would be excellent. Another Terminate. Not what we're hoping for. So green, red. Buy back a Mountain. Play said Mountain. I mean, we're at 18, but we are not threatening them at all. We've got a redraw and Spell Bomb. Saying, what would be the Burn Hate equivalent of Obsidian Charma? Yeah, I think Collected Brutality is just the best option for that. And I like Brutality too because it's better in other matchups. It's usable in other matchups as well. Yeah, good thing they don't have Lurrus, right? Well, I do have the Spell Bomb for it, but it would eventually be good. All right, they played a land we didn't know about. Yeah, Spike. They're just gonna get there eventually if we don't do anything. Come on, Goyf. Another Bolt. All right, well. Is it possible I want to just spellbomb myself? So they have instant sorcery land creature enchantment. So I'll have just instant sorcery artifacts. So it's actually better to spellbomb myself. We'll be farther from escaping Kroxa if that's the threat that we find. But if I find a Goyf, it's bigger if I keep their yard around. So let's keep their yard around. Come on, Goyf. Come on, Goyf. Another Renin 6. Not exactly what we're hoping for. Alright, well, their creatures won't be doing very much damage, but neither will ours. You think ulting Renin 6 and casting Collective Brutality is faster than their clock at the moment? Well, I mean, we can do the same thing with casting bolts. Unfortunately, we need lands for that even to be a plan too. Alright, so we know their hand is actual nothing. The semicolon says drink water. I got ya. Yep. I mean, we were at 18, but we had actual nothing going for us. Do I just start keeping the lands in hand to have them just be lightning bolts? I think I am. I mean, we've got 3 red sources in play. So I mean, I might need every land on deck. And if they play a creature, I'm going to use the Terminate so that way bolts can go face. Forgotten Cave? Well, I guess I can cycle that one. Cycle. Well, it's still just like a Goyf. Another bolt, I guess. So if we bolt them twice, they go to 9. Then next turn we ultimate and just bolt them 3 times and they die? So yeah, we're gonna bolt them. We're gonna bolt them twice at end step, and then we can emblem and just win. Yep, that's the plan. A Helix could throw a wrench in the spokes. Oh no, did you draw it? No, bad. Okay. Think we got there. So pretty good that I didn't play that Overgrown Tomb, huh? Who's the burn player now? What? They're just gonna bolt us in response. Yay! That's the way to finish it. We got our redemption. Alright, so I'll do a very quick deck tech / wrap up for purposes of the recording. Let's pull up the deck. So all in all, it has still just felt very, very solid. The Bone Crushers have continued to just be good. The Kolaghan's commands have been fine. The Renin 6 and Bob split has felt very good. Versus the Lava Dart and Burn decks, obviously Bob is pretty terrible. But the majority of the format is not just those 2 things. And versus the rest of the format, I still like how Bob is positioned. Not much to say about Tarmogoyf other than what people have been saying about it for literally decades. And Maciel Neto. Sorry if I said that wrong, but thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. And then the 1 mana suite of stuff has also felt good. I've said in the past, I think the discard is better in formats with control and combo decks, and the control and combo decks are being severely outweighed by the presence of mid-range and aggro. So as long as the scale is tilted in that way, I like having just 5 discard spells as opposed to more. And then I like the split of 3 bolt, 3 push. There's still lots of Izzet prowess out there, and there's still lots of Shadow out there, and Push has a lot easier time killing their stuff, especially with the presence of mutagenic growth, saving any of their creatures from Bolt for 0 mana. So I still really like this split. I've felt like it's been a good mix of killing their stuff and going to the dome. Both will still kill their stuff a good amount of the time, but I like the split. So I think I've said my piece on just about everything in the main deck. Sideboard wise, again, we brought in every sideboard card basically every league, and they've all been very good. So at least as far as this main deck configuration is, I like how this sideboard supports it, and I don't really see any reason to make any drastic changes, so I just won't. So I'll continue tweaking, but for now, I still just really like how this list is performing. And if you haven't tried it, definitely recommend giving it a shot. So that's gonna be it for this recording. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. Remember to like and subscribe. Both are free things that you can do to support my content. And if you're on Twitch here and you're not already following, definitely do, and head over to the YouTube channel for all the previous content. And if you're watching on YouTube, definitely check out the Twitch channel. So gotta do a little shameless self-plugging there. Repro Bros, thank you for the follow. And I am going to end the recording there. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. And until next time, Jund them out.